Hey everybody, welcome to Epic Time. This is the wrap-up show, so to speak. I don't know if it's going to be the end or not, but it's definitely getting down there. All the riders are coming in, so there's going to be a time there won't be any riders out there. But this is a significant day in the ride. So we're going to give people a chance to get on here. I got some people backstage, so let me make a couple little changes here to this, that, and a couple things. And I'm gonna start by getting Snapshot on here. He is patiently waiting and uh, got some things in order. So I'm gonna get the comments up, and I'll bring Snapshot on, and we'll be good to go. My man, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. It seems like yesterday we were sitting at the the line, discussing about where we are going to go and how we are going to cover this mad crazy event, and then we find out there's two directions. Throws everything for a loop. Mad crazy. Just how it went, how things happened, and what they went. But man, we made the most of it, huh?
Yeah, we did make the most of it. I remember hypothesizing with you. I was like, man, I don't know what we're gonna do if they have two different routes, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And we did, and I feel like we adapted pretty well, so that worked out.
Yeah, the benefit to them having the two routes is they got to come back to the same, from an organizer standpoint of the challenge. That was pretty good on their part because they got the start, the middle, and the end, and they didn't have to leave. So you can be, super lazy and cover a lot of stuff. So it's like great, from that end, and it also works great for like you because they're coming back to the halfway point. So if you miss somebody, and you want to get pictures of it, where they're coming right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So that part was good, but it's a big ass country and trying to catch up with people on one line is almost impossible, and then come up with two. And I'm going to show this quick. This is the route we're talking about, and you know, the one that goes up through, Wisconsin and then over to Rhode Island is then back down by Washington and then up is one, but the other one went south, and it was just crazy to try to think you're going to cover people on that. That had to give you a little mind wreck, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was pretty difficult because I didn't really know the route very well. Some people we had turn by turn directions, but if you know me, I'm pretty bad at directions. So luckily, I had your guidance to give me like a general direction to go. But like you said, I mean, following even one route was hard. It honestly, it took me by surprise. I had no idea how much ground these guys were going to cover. You know, because I spent some nights camping and some nights in hotels, but one thing was for certain: every morning I woke up, everybody made far more ground than I thought they were going to. So like the me trying to catch up with them, like trying to catch somebody who was already ahead of me was way more difficult than I thought, even though I was taking highways.
Yeah, that's not happening at all. It's so hard to do, and even when you take highways because they're on another mission. It's like they're not just riding. They're If I'm 100% committed to riding, you cover a lot of ground because you ain't dilly dallying around. Your stops are 3-4 minutes. That's it. So it's just insane how fast you can cover and try to catch people on a route like that. Um, is absolutely crazy. And I'm going to share the screen here so I show the route that's going on right now. And I see Nancy's jumped on, so we're going to bring her on because I'm not sure. I better look and make sure she's not riding. I just heard the click. Uh, but anyhow, I'm going to share this up here first. But like this is the route, and if you have people starting here and going this way, and then up through here, down through here, and all the way over to Rhode Island, that's tough to catch up with. And then you have a whole nother group heading this way. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're not following both. So for what you did, it was nice because through here they're all going to converge to come back, and that's a pinch point. They have to come here, no matter what the Hoka Hey sent them to do. They're coming back here. So I thought that was the best. And I tell you what, though, when they went this way, I knew they were coming down through Michigan and heading this way. So when I told you, I'd go over to Sturgis and you're going to come catch them coming down, maybe work your way up here. But I was surprised because these were much tougher roads than I thought they were going to send them on.
Yeah.
So this took a long time to get to the Mackinac Bridge.
I think it was day two, like morning of day two, people started finally getting there.
Yeah, that was crazy because I thought they were gonna send them up a little more, through the center of Wisconsin. I guessed they were gonna come up, like, Wisconsin Dells area because there's a bunch of, reservation land right through here. So that's where I thought they were gonna go and come up here. So I was surprised when they hugged the border of Minnesota all the way up to Lake Superior and then cut across. So
Yeah.
that made it challenging to say the least, but you did a good job. And how many miles did you put on Snapshot? Did you?
This trip, including my ride up and from, it was about 8,000 miles or so.
That's
So
pretty funny. You put 8,000, and we got Big Balls Matt here hanging out. He put a lot more miles than everybody else did too. So I can't wait to get his total. So I do want to check and see. I heard Nancy click on Roadrunner's there. I thought Nancy was on too. Maybe it wasn't. We got Roadrunner. All right. But that's what it is. I want to bring some people on one by one. I think we'll start with Big Balls Matt because he was such an epic part of our show. You know, when you were out riding around and I'm doing a show from Sturgis, I was following people. I was seeing mistakes, but some mistakes I wasn't sure who was making a mistake and who wasn't. We had a bunch of monsters on one side of the river and a bunch on the other side of the river, and I knew that somebody's wrong, whoever that is. And one time it was Jug that was one of them, and I laughed about it because there were a group of people on one side of the river and then a group on the other side of the river. And I'm like, somebody here is wrong. And it was Jug's group that was wrong. So they had to go back up and, which made it nice because I could really hassle them about it. But that part of it was, kind of fun to watch and to do all that, and see people just, but that's what stood out. And right away, Matt stood out because right up here, you know, he made a mistake in Houghton, which is right here, and the route came here, and there's so many people that just went straight right here and didn't follow this 26 up. They were supposed to stay on 26 and take a right on 41. So this is 26 right here where the cursor is. It turns into 41. But if you stay on 26, you cross into 41 several times, and way up here is where you're supposed to take the right. And by doing that, all your math adds up for the rest of your turns. But a bunch of people did not do that, and they had to go back, or I don't know what's going to happen to people, if they're going to be finishers, if they're going to be or not. I don't have any idea what they're going to do, but a bunch of riders did not do this. They, just like Big Balls Matt, they just continued on because they're on 26. They got to take a right on 41. Oh, here it is right there. And as you see, there's 26. There's 41. Take a right on it. But the directions told you at 100 miles, and this was only at 50. And then a bunch of other people, which the marshals or whatever they're using didn't care about. They went across this river and didn't even take a right on 26. They took a left on 41 and just took that all the way up and came all the way back down. But they said they're finishers. So however they decide exactly how you have to follow the map, I don't know how they're doing that, but they're not doing it by following it precisely. I know that much because they've already said people who didn't do it right, they're just kind of turning the other way. But anyways, that's how we got to know Big Balls Matt. And his name is really just Matt. We're going to get him on here. Let me get rid of this. And let's get Big Balls Matt on here. Add him to the stage. How you doing, my man?
Good, good. How are you?
I am doing great. It's so good to have you. The whole world feels like they know you, and we all got to know a little part of you anyhow. And I don't know a lot about you, but I know you have big balls, and you are willing to ride around a Great Lake. When you look at our map and you look at, I'm going to show us one more time. You look at this map and you see that. I'm gonna get so you can actually see his face there. This is what he rode around. Is Lake Michigan. Everybody else went up here and came down. Matt knew something was wrong, came down, and then went around Lake Michigan up through Appleton and back up to get that little piece of land up there. So, what was going through your mind while you were going? When you realize you got to go all the way back up to the UP, because that's got to be a sinking feeling.
It was. I was more devastated, I think, than anything. It wasn't defeat. It was day 2, and I'm thinking, well, it's just part of the ride. I got to get back up there so I can get back on route. And at that point, I would just thought, like, how dumb can you be to miss these turns? How you just made the decision and you said, well, I'm gonna turn left or right, and that don't look right, so I'm going right. And I made the choice and went.
It's funny how you justify it though when you're on the ride, where you do that and your shit's not adding up, but your brain tells you they made a mistake on my mileage. They made a mistake. It was 50 miles, not 100. And they made a mistake for sure.
Yeah.
They made a mistake because down the road, then you start finding your other stuff. But so that was good.
The mileage didn't add up, and I went 2 lines later, and that mileage was actually wrong in the directions. So in my mind, it was like, well, this was 40 and it was supposed to be 100, and this is saying 40 and I'm at 100. It's like, oh man, they mixed those 2 lines up. I got it figured out. Good luck, everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. You leave there like, I could just picture you rolling down the road like, I'm smarter than everybody else.
I got this.
I am the badass rider in all the land. Then into the next day, you're like, hey, wait, what? Like, oh man, looking at an atlas and finding out that shit.
26 does turn into 41.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to see if I have one of the magazines that you used. Thought I did, but I might have gave them all away too. Yeah, I don't even have one. The exact atlas we were talking about before. I thought I had one sitting here, so I was going to show what that looks like up there, because that's what Matt did. He looked at an atlas and it shows you the route. Atlas I was telling people about, the Harley Atlas that you look at has cool routes.
Yeah.
Where they're in color. So and I told people, like, that's what they get a lot of the stuff from. And when he went back and looked at it, he's like, oh man.
So what had happened was, when I first crossed that bridge, I had an atlas in my clipboard on the handlebars. So I pulled it out and I opened it up, and it's like, man, it shows 41's going to the left and 26 is going to the right, and I followed it all the way up through, and it's like, man, it doesn't even look like they connect. It can't be right. And that was pretty much the decision of, I'm going this way. No more thought until later that I opened up that Harley Ride Atlas, and I'm looking at it, man, and it shows that road 26 going up, and then it shows 41 making a split right there. And I thought, you dummy.
And you make a mistake, and deep down you do. You just don't want to be wrong, but you always have that gut feeling. You have that gut feeling, like, was that right? And like I say, then you look at the next day when you're deep far away, because once you commit to it, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. What do you do?
You commit, but this is really funny because this is the route that everybody rode, and as you see, right in the middle of Wisconsin, right above that motorcycle. Oh, excuse me. There is nobody that went through Wisconsin right through there. And I thought that was great, right until I got a hold of Matt's and see the line right through Wisconsin, 2 trips around Lake Michigan. So I tell you, we had a lot of fun with it, with razzing on you and trying to promote you too as well, because all kidding aside, man, you are a beast of a rider, and you are really kicking ass in it. And after you literally went around Lake Michigan, it was fun to cheer you on and kind of like promote your ride and watch you passing people and razzing them like he's passing somebody, and he went around a Great Lake, like he didn't do a lap around the lake by his house. He went around a Great Lake. And now he's coming up behind you and passing you. And so I had fun with that. I had fun the whole ride, and everybody wanted to check on you. I know you went back and listened to some of the shows, but we had a lot of comments, what people are like, hey man, where's Big Balls at? Like Big Balls Matt is a name. Like you can call it BB Matt, whatever, but Big Balls is it.
Yeah.
And you got a set of balls to go back around a Great Lake and do all that. And then, continue on with the ride from there is pretty impressive. And it was a lot of fun to watch, including the finish line. There isn't a doubt in my mind or anyone else's mind that you would have been at the finish line hadn't you had to make another lap around Lake Michigan for the party. Like there were 11, 12 people showed up for it. Like you would have been one. So even there, I had a good time at your expense. I got to meet your daughter, Madison. We were having a lot of laughs about, her dad taking the long way to get to the party. And, how old is she? 7, 6, 7?
6.
Yeah, 6 years old. So, we were having a lot of fun. And I even stepped in. I found your wife and I said, we'll take a family photo here and we'll tell Matt, we got you covered. We got Big Balls covered until he shows up. So it was just a lot of fun. And I had a great time laughing with Madison. And this is right where she was trying to kill me. We were looking to see where you were. And then she had a question where she said, can you do what I do? And I was like, yeah, I have no idea. And then she's doing like dance moves where she's picking her toe up from behind her head and, all this super crazy flexible stuff. But I was like, yeah, that's not happening. Like, ride is not going to bend like that. And then she did the splits and told me to do that. And I was like, that's definitely not happening. So I'll never get up again. So that was a lot of fun. But one thing I learned about today that I didn't really understand until today, and we have him here. So I'm going to bring Taco on because Taco is going to come on because there's a little bit going on behind the scenes amongst the riders, and I really got a kick out of that too. So let me get Taco on here. There's Taco. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, everybody. Good.
Good, man. We got Big Balls Matt here, and we got Snapshot, obviously. But, Big Balls went around Lake Michigan and it was coming up behind everybody. And, I was at Sturgis. I didn't have a lot of time when I was in Sturgis to like sit and stare at the tracker because we had a booth and it was really, really busy. So, I looked at the tracker and when people came and asked me to do stuff, it was pretty cool. But, I was watching Matt, during our shows and you as well. And it was kind of fun watching them climb up through people. And so then today talking to him, I'm hearing about there was a thing about Big Balls Matt passing people. So what's that about?
So first of all, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard of because we wasn't watching your show. So I don't know what was being said on your show or any of that. So, but there was this chatter when you'd meet people on the road and all this. They're like, have you seen Big Balls Matt? First of all, I was like, who's Big Balls Matt? They're like, just Matt. Yeah. No, I haven't seen him. Well, don't let him pass you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, he missed a turn and he had to go back all these thousands of miles and he's wheeling people in. Don't let him pass you. I'm like, hell no. I mean, all the people can pass me and that ain't going to be him. So then it's a thing that everybody's talking about is where's Big Balls Matt? And no matter what you do, don't get lapped by Big Balls.
Yeah. He's going to Lake Michigan and then passing people and they're having contests. It was really funny because I should have thought about that. I should have said like anybody that Matt passes has to donate $10, $5, $20, 25, whatever to his charity, and posted that and made a thing with it. And if you can make it to the finish line without him, then he's got to donate to yours.
Yeah,
and, something like that. But it really would have been pretty funny. I kind of missed that opportunity, but it was great. It was great to watch and now to hear riders. For me, I gave Big Balls Matt a lot of shit. I had a lot of fun with it from a booth in Sturgis. And I remember talking about it in a show saying, well, Big Balls Matt is either going to have a really good sense of humor and think it's awesome, or he's going to punch me in the face the next time I see him because people are calling him Big Balls. And I'm pointing out the fact he did an extra lap around a Great Lake. So after the fact, when he reached out, I was glad to hear he's got a sense of humor. So that was pretty good. And how many miles did you end up with, Matt?
We're not positive exactly. I got to go back and look at it, but I think it's around 13,000. And with like 13.5 from the house.
Yeah, from the house, but it's not like he lives in California. He lives
Yeah, no,
pretty close to the place. Like he can get there. He can get there in a pretty good jaunt. So
yeah.
he didn't have to. He doesn't live in Alaska. Put it that way. So that is pretty funny. Oh, that is really funny. Rob just said he signed the banners, Big Balls Matt. So that there you go.
Rob was hilarious. He was cracking me up. We had a great time last night.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Rob's a good dude. I was super happy he got there. I'm going to get into that with Taco here, but I just wanted to congratulate you, Matt, on a great ride, doing what you got to do to live up to what the Hoka Hey is about, and living up to that, and having the integrity, having the balls to go back and do it, and not just ride it out and be like, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna keep on riding and do my thing. If they don't make me a finisher, they don't make me a finisher. But you were a long ways past when you kept checking that and then finally figured it out. But a lot of people wouldn't do that, and a lot of people didn't do that. So you got balls, you got big balls, that's for sure, but you also have heart and integrity, and that's really what matters. And you were raising money as well for a charity. What charity was that for?
The Hogs Helping Heroes, a local veterans group down here by me in Ohio.
That's awesome. How much were you able to raise on your because of the Hoka Hey?
I think it was around like 9,300, right in that ballpark. We do still have some to gather up, and my wife has been phenomenal with that, keeping track of everything while I was gone and putting posters up, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it takes a team to make it all happen, and that's for sure. But congratulations on that. Not only were you riding, you're not just riding for yourself, you're riding for others, and that goes a long way. I mean, that alone says a lot about your character and your being, so to speak. So that's really cool. And I thanks for coming on, because you're famous. People are going to forget so many things about this ride. About everybody always worries about placing the top 10, top 20, whatever, but nobody remembers that shit. Like they're going to remember Dirty Dan. He won it, and he won 2 in a row. They're going to remember his name for sure.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to be remembered. They're going to remember people that finished well. That's it. Nobody goes, oh, I remember that. He finished 8th or whatever. Nobody knows and nobody cares. But they're going to remember Big Balls Matt went around Lake Michigan on an extra lap. And I think that kind of shit is worth it, man. The story is worth more than the headache and all the thing. Oh, that is a hilarious line right there. He epic.
And didn't
he epicked up.
And didn't you replace your lifters on the side of the road or some shit like that?
I did. I put lifters in it at the first checkpoint. They were very fortunate, or I was very fortunate. They gave me a lift outside, and you got to remember, I was carrying about a 50 or 60-pound bag of tools with a spare tire mounted on the back. I wasn't out to win this thing. I was just trying to make it to the finish line.
That's so funny. Like he puts lifters in on the side of the road. I needed lifters in my last bike too. I traded the son of a bitch in. Like he's got 50 pounds of tools. I bring all the tools I'm capable of using. I have a screwdriver, a pliers, and a knife, and a gun. That's all I got, man. Yeah. Like if I see a snake, I'm gonna shoot it. If I can crimp some zip ties. If zip ties and duct tape ain't fixing that shit, it's not getting fixed by Ryan. He's over there, like I got a tire, 50 pounds of tools.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
I wasn't planning on winning it. I just wanted to keep the bike running, get to the finish line.
That's awesome. I tell you what, man, congratulations again. 36th, somebody put up here. So come in 36th after doing an extra lap of Lake Michigan. All right, man, there's nobody that's going to argue with me. You would have been at that party hadn't you had to go around Lake Michigan. So I thank you for that, man. You're welcome to stay in the background and watch it, or just go watch the show the rest of the time. But congratulations on the ride. I'm going to shoot you my cell phone number too, so you have it, because I want to stay in touch. I'm going to come by. I'm going to stop in and say hello. And if you want to jump off on the comments, if there's anything you want to post about your charity stuff, put us right in the comments, and
Okay.
people will see
Yeah,
that.
thank
So
you.
help get you over your max, and we'll be good to go, man. So thanks again. Thank you for the entertainment, and thank you for being epic and having the integrity it takes to be big balls Matt and go back around Lake Michigan, because it made it pretty awesome, man. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Awesome, man. We'll catch up with you.
Yep.
That was pretty badass. I wanted you to chime in on that, Taco, but before we get too much further, I want to congratulate you on your ride and how well you rode your ride. What a great job you did. How you hooked up with the young man, Rob, and rode with him, another monster. And it meant a lot for him to get to the finish line. And your first time crossing that finish line is unlike any other time. So when I saw him riding with you, I knew that you guys were making it all the way. There was no doubt in my mind you were making it all the way to the finish line, and you did. You did a great job. I was bummed I could not be there, to greet you guys, that I had to leave on Sunday morning super early to get back to Minnesota. I had some family stuff, but that's just the way that goes. But congratulations on a great run, man. You did it.
Thanks, man.
Epic style. So that was cool, and your wife was super involved with it as well, which made it cool. If people didn't know, his wife was one of the ladies that was down at the dealership in Mississippi, and we had a monster table that they set up with a banner for the riders to sign, and so that was really touching too. So it was really cool that to see how you rode your ride and how you had fun. I loved watching your videos, and we were showing you in Sturgis and having a good time with it, man. So congratulations with that.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. What was some of your highlights of the ride for you?
Well, so day one was terrible for me because I realized that I couldn't see at night. I know that's weird, but I couldn't see. So night number one, I'm like, what the hell? I can't see the directions. I got super frustrated and was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So the next day I recovered, got my wits about me, and figured out how to come up with a plan. But I spent the rest of the ride really wanting to ride with other people. I spent 24 riding solo for the most part and done my thing. And I wanted to share this adventure with people. And it's funny how life puts you in position with people that you had no idea that you was going to be with. So it wasn't but a couple of days in, I found myself with Gritty Bell and Twang. I'm riding with them. Next thing you know, I get a phone call for somebody who's lost. You're not going to believe he took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
Wrong way.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
the king of wrong turns.
He took some wrong turns and ended up with me and him and Gritty Bell and Twang. And then we went through a day or so like that. And then we get to the checkpoint. We left the girls and ended up at the checkpoint, and we picked up Rob. And I never would have thought I would have picked up Rob because Rob was ahead of us at one point. But Rob, he ain't going to tell everybody this. He spent 11 hours at the first checkpoint.
Wow.
11 hours. You know why he spent 11 hours there?
No.
He's waiting on me and didn't know it. He didn't even know it. He's waiting on me. So we got there and we left together. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And we left there together, me, him, and Wrongway, and we left. And, unfortunately, Wrongway had some bike trouble some days later and had to tap out. But I spent the next 10 plus days riding with Kill Switch Rob. He has a new road name, by the way, because this dude, love him to death. I bet you I turned his bike off 25 times.
When you came to stop signs or stop lights?
I mean, just no. Like when you'd stop for gas or stop for anything, he'd just stop and get off, walk off. Got a bike sitting. I'm like, what are you doing? So I'd go over and turn his damn bike off. Then it got to the point where I was like, hey, man, you turned your bike off? Oh, yeah. So
that's really funny.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. But, it was it turned into an experience of spending it with a monster and somebody that I absolutely didn't know. and I've got myself a friend and a brother for life out of it. So
Yeah, that's the cool part is you make friends because of that moment in time, and I think that's something that you don't even plan about, you
right.
know. I'm
And
gonna send Rob a message right now, see if he can come on the show.
one of the most important things that I didn't mention was, so when I first started talking, I couldn't see at night. I mean, I, I really couldn't. So Rob, when the sun went down, he was my eyes. He really was. I put him in front, and he guided me through the parts that I couldn't see, and that's what friends and brothers do. So
It sure is, and the good Lord puts people where they need to be. You needed somebody there for whatever reasons, and he needed somebody there for whatever reasons,
that's
and
right.
that's why it works. That's why it works. And I just sent him a message, and he's here, so I'm going to add him to the stage so he can say hi himself.
Yeah.
Here we got Kill Switch
What's up,
joining in.
What up, everybody?
Good to see you, man. We were just talking about you, and I'm like, man, I can invite people to come on here in 2 seconds. So if we're going to talk about them and hear about Kill Switch and everything, I want to, get his side of it. Did it happen? So many times that Kill Switch is now Kill Switch, and did you have to shut your bike off all the time, like bringing your kids with you somewhere?
He turned my bike off more than me. I'm not gonna lie. We got to the gas station. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not. It is what it is. He's like, did you turn your bike off? No. No.
I got you. Just think of your bike as a diesel pickup. Like, I'm just going into the store and it can run
Yeah,
all
I'm just
night.
having a grand old time.
That's just fine, man. But before we get too deep into your name, a Kill Switch now. Congratulations on completing the Hoka Hey, man. You're one of the riders I was really pulling for to complete this, and I wasn't questioning your ability to ride, but I always question people's ability to get lucky and their bikes to hold up. That goes above and beyond your skill as a rider, your skill as, avoiding popo, whatever the case is. You still have to have a bike that holds up. You can't control that, man. You can maintain the shit out of everything, and something goes wrong. I can't fix things on the side of the road like Matt does. My bike goes and it's got to go to the shop. It kills time or whatever. So congratulations on that. And congratulations on navigating 11,500 miles and not hitting any wildlife, not hitting another car, and not missing any one of the 10,000 corners you went around. And that's something each and every rider who finishes. If you have a finisher tag, period, you did awesome shit to do that. And you guys came in a timely fashion for the amount of miles you came in. You came in at a high level, and that was super badass.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was super cool, and I want to share this at this time too, because you guys are all a part of this. This is just what the monsters did during the Hoka Hey, and I was waiting to put this up here. I'm going to put it up right now while you guys are all on here, and that is pretty awesome. While you guys rode 11,500 miles, we were able to raise over $113,000, and if that's not epic in itself, not much is. So, that's going to put us over the hump. We're going to be able to get the van for Brody, and just things are looking awesome. And, you guys are out there killing it and suffering through all you suffered through. But at the end of the day, you're spreading awareness and raising money for a cause so much bigger than any one of us could ever be. And that's just badass. So congratulations on that end of it, as well as having such an awesome finish, because it doesn't get much bigger than that right there.
Super cool.
So,
Yeah, that's amazing. That makes me proud to be a part of something.
Yeah,
sure.
it's super cool, man. It gets me choked up just thinking about it. Like the dangers and the bikes that got wrecked, and the incidents that took place, and the tickets, and the heartbreaks, and the whatever. But no matter how anyone's ride went, at the end of the day, if you're riding for the monsters, you had something to do with $113,000 being raised. So if your motorcycle blew up, you got a ticket, you wrecked, which a few people did, and Gritty Bell had to have surgery, and there's people had some rough rides. So congratulations that you didn't have a rough ride and you were able to take part in helping to raise that kind of money. So that was just super, super cool. So made me super proud. I was super proud of you riding it, as your first timer like that. And to get hooked up with Taco was a smart move on your part. He's a good dude.
Hey,
And
I wouldn't
Taco
have
getting
traded
hooked
that
up
for the
with him.
world.
Yeah, and for Taco to get hooked up with you, he needs a little youngster in his life to guy. He has kids. He knows how they keep you a little young, keep you moving. Like he is probably like, oh, I would have went to bed a little earlier tonight because I can't see anyhow. But now I got the kiddo with me, and he can see. I'll follow him.
And then he says to me a couple times, he's like, we'd do something. He'd go, thanks, Dad. I'm like, right on, man.
That's so awesome. I tell you, when I watched you guys roll, and I highlighted you a lot during my show, and it was fun to watch you. And I was just kind of like, I know you guys both. I know both you guys well, and I could just picture the fun you were having too. You know, and I was telling people, you got to embrace the suck and just keep your suck moments to that, and not let it get in your mind where it turns into an oh shit moment. So, you guys did a great job of just embracing the suck and having that be part of the ride and get back. And I bet your ladies were just happy as hell to see you, get to that finish line. And there she is. Hey, Darylyn, good to see you. I saw her, and I could see the look in both your ladies' eyes, during it and before it. It was just things I've never experienced before, the worry and things like that. And I've never worried about jack shit during the Hoka Hey, including my own life, let alone somebody else's. So to sit from the outside and watch you guys rolling, and I'm like zooming in, and I could see the roads you're on. And I'm like, there was a part of me, it's like, man, those are my boys. I hope they're good through here. And I know the country that has like deer and bear and where nighttime dangers are, and I see you guys rolling. I'm like, so for the first time I was on the side of the monitor that I got that feeling. And I tell you what, man, now I have an idea what the ladies felt, and they have a much more of that feeling to you guys than I would. I'm a little tougher than that. Like if you guys do crash, I'm like, well, you shouldn't have missed that corner, but so it was good. But you guys had a great run, man. Thank you for being epic and helping our kids and doing just a kick-ass job of it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Rob, did you have a highlight? Was there something on this that you were just like, damn, that was something?
After we made the third checkpoint, I think it was, my clutch blew up. So I had to go an hour and a half off route to some dealer, and they got me in and out, but I missed my guy Taco. He kept rolling on. So that was at the point of having to ride the trace.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to ride through the fucking night, and I'm going to meet back up with this guy, because this is not the end of our story. Like, this is not it. And I'm passing deer every 50 yards, flying by deer through the middle of the night. And I'm like, you know what? I will not let that be the end of our story. And sure as shit, I made it to Taco that night, and the rest is history.
Sure did.
That's awesome, man. I tell you what, both of you guys did a great job of being the example. So thanks for that. That was truly, truly awesome. So again, congratulations on a finish. Congratulations on a great ride, and doing it right. So, and thanks for coming on the show and sharing your story, because you guys are awesome. Love you both. So thanks again, and congratulations, man.
Thanks for having us.
Right on, man. You take care.
Snapshot, love you too.
All right, now I got to see who else joined in. I know Roadrunner was on there, and Nancy. I got to see if Nancy's out riding, because I'm going to bring both these up, because these guys were both in the very top. We're going to get Nancy on there because she might be out riding. She's, how long are you going to be on? So nope, she's shaking her head. No. All right, we got time. I was like, oh, she's going to be on the way. Ah, shit, I forgot all about that with Taco about his event yesterday. I got so sidetracked, but that's that. Is Taco still on here? Where is he? Add to stage. Yeah. Hey, Taco. Thanks for not hanging up right away. Thank you for doing the Sturgis rally yesterday in Mississippi. The little Sturgis down in Mississippi. He comes right home from the challenge, gets home, doesn't even unpack the bike, and goes to an event that was raising some money for Mile Monster. So I got sidetracked there with all your stories and stuff. And
That's okay.
Thankfully, my wife, this is her polite way of saying, "Hey, dumbass, you forgot about that."
And it wasn't just me. It was me and my wife and Mark Campbell and Karen Campbell. And then and Mark was a top 20 finisher.
I know, it's crazy. I'm going to have him on Monster Monday to talk about that.
Yep.
So I thought we're going to have so many people on here, be on here all night. But the dude rides a BMW and joins in on a V twin and comes in the top 20. But I had no doubt his ability to ride. He can ride.
No.
He doesn't.
He's an animal. Right.
Yeah, he doesn't ride like a dipshit like I do, but he'll ride for countless hours and he'll just keep on going. Like he might only be 10 mile an hour. He's a prime example how you could do this and not even risk going to jail. Like I've never done a Hoka Hey and not thought there's a good chance I'm going to jail. Where Mark just rides, but that shows you his endurance riding. That's right. My crime riding is much better than my endurance riding. So that was pretty cool. But thank you for doing that, man. That was awesome.
Yep. It was super cool. I had me, my wife, Mark and Karen Campbell, and Teeter showed up today with Ava to support as well. So it was a super cool event. We raised some money, had a good time, and we got to spread the awareness. So it was good.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Thank you for taking care of that. Now we can say goodbye. Your booth looked awesome too. So we'll touch base with that on Monday. We'll see you later. All right. Now, here's some Roadrunner. Roadrunner's on here twice. So I don't even know which one to pick. So we'll take the one where he's actually moving. So here is a Roadrunner. Oh, I don't know if we got him. All right.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, how you doing, my man?
Hey, doing great. How y'all doing? Hey,
you look fresh and revived since the last time I saw you.
I've not done much at all this week other than lay around and be lazy.
I tell you what, he came into line. What place did you come in?
Seventh place.
Seventh place. Oh, that's right. I remember they told you were sixth, and I told you were seventh, and they had that a little messed up. But anyways, he looked how you should look if you give it 100%.
I was dead. There's no doubt about that. Like you said, didn't know whether to double tap me or put me to bed, but it was definitely.
If somebody would have told me that the zombies were coming, I would have shot you for sure, thinking you were the start of the spreading this. So that's how I would have went, because you look like a zombie. I mean, that's why I'm like, why don't you just get in the car with your wife and we'll take care of your motorcycle. I was like, I didn't trust you riding that thing 30 more feet.
Yeah, no, I was done. Yeah, there was no doubt I was done at the finish line.
Yeah, but you made the party.
I made the party for sure. So even got to get a little nap and a shower, which was awesome.
Yeah, and you made the party, and when you went and take a nap, I wasn't sure you were coming back to the party.
Yeah, well, I laid down thinking I was only going to lay down for about an hour. Well, it was about 3 hours later I rolled over and was like, oh, crap.
Hey, what was the highlight? What was the highlight of your challenge?
Oh, so many different things. Just being able to kind of keep it together. There's just so many challenges, like you were talking about earlier about luck and stuff, and that is 100% true. I mean, so many people had flat tires and wrecks and incidents, and I picked up a nail, but it didn't puncture the tire. It kind of bent and went sideways, and it was just 100% pure luck. And I mean, how everything fell is just riding with a great group of people, and then being on my own some, and just riding and seeing some just awesome little roadside places that you'd never go to on your own.
Yeah, I think the directions are pretty amazing, but I got to spend a lot of time with your wife before and after and talk to her, and it's really nice, like on your end, for all riders, when you have a spouse that's so supportive. So that was really, really nice to see, and she was happy as hell to see you coming in. I'll say that.
She definitely was, and I know she was worried. And at first it took her a minute to kind of buy into this whole thing. Not knowing, she was new to all this, kind of like I was, and she's like, I don't get it, I don't understand. But I think she does now. So, but she was right there at the start, and then was glad to see her come up for the finish. So it definitely meant a lot.
Well, you were one that I had picked to be in the top, especially amongst our monster riders. You were somebody that was I because I rode with you in the spring and I saw your ability and I was like, that dude's legit, you know. So it was fun to watch you actually prove it.
Well, I appreciate that. I was definitely giving everything I had, and the roads, and just trying to figure out those directions. And like I said, having some good people to ride with on occasion, and then just being able to navigate through it, and not put too many extra miles on. But I definitely had my fair share of bad turns and extra miles.
Yeah, I hear there's some background noise whenever I'm talking, so I'm gonna limit that. I don't know if it's catching your speaker or
Might be.
yeah,
I,
whatever it is.
I saw you
I
linked
just
up with Teeter for a number of days too. Did you prefer riding alone or riding with somebody?
he might not heard you.
Oh shoot!
I
Did you hear
think
me,
there's
River?
a
Can you
catch.
hear me?
Yeah, but it's all good, man. We'll move on. I got Nancy in the background anyhow.
Okay.
I just want to congratulate you on a great ride.
I definitely appreciate it, and appreciate all y'all did, and the support, and everybody out there cheering us on.
Yeah, and
And
congratulations
that
on
right
that.
there is just awesome.
Yep, it sure is. So it's really awesome. So thank you for everything you did, man. Congratulations. Give the honey a hug for me, and I'll catch up with you.
Will do. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great one.
Awesome. We'll
Thanks.
see you. All right, let me see if I can get this figured out here. Yeah, I think his phone or whatever it was just turned up. The volume was turned up too loud, but that's all good. It's all good. That's the thing about bringing these crazy riders in to talk about things. It's like they're tech savvy. They can ride a motorcycle like a banshee, but they're tech savvy's not so hot. But here we got Nancy. Let's get her on here. She's been patiently waiting, and she's look at how fresh she looks. Can't wait to show her off. Hey, hey darling.
Hi. Hi.
Man, it's so good to see you. And unlike some of these guys, you looked tired and you smelled like hell, but you looked pretty good. But so at the line, when you came in and afterwards, you did a hell of a job, man. I want to start by saying congratulations,
Thank
because
you.
anybody that's new, anybody who hasn't seen, this is Nancy, and she came in third place. And she came in third place, and that is the highest anybody has ever placed as a lady rider. And so with that, I give you a round of applause, man. That was just straight up awesome. And people around the world were super proud of you, and
I know. Epic. Yeah.
it was really epic. And I've always said, like, there's no advantage to riding. If you're gonna race a guy for a girl, a guy for 100 miles, there's really no advantage. I ride with girls all the time, and they're equal. But 11,000 miles, I think guys have a serious advantage, and it's called
Pain.
taking a leak. It's
Pain.
like it's a massive advantage. So for you to come in the top three, 2 years ago when Shell came in the top five, I was blown away at that ability to ride amongst the world's toughest riders. For you to up that and get in the top three, man, is just epic. So you are a beast. A lot of people don't realize, how many miles have you put on so far this year?
I rolled 95,000 today for the year.
So 95,000 miles from January 1st, correct? So January 1st to right now, 95,000 miles. There's been 30, 35 people that have ever ridden 100,000 miles and documented it in a year. I think it's 30 something. So, and the vast majority of them take a long time, to get it. Like in December, people are at 95,000. You're at 95,000 in the middle of August or last, I'll say the middle of August. That's just sick, sick. So coming into this, I had no doubt that you would have no problem with the riding end of it at all. But, I'm super happy you managed the other end, taking a leak, not hitting an animal, the bike holding up, and your
Yep.
mind holding up. So what were some of your highlights, and how'd you stay, kind of in check to do it all?
The highlight was crossing the finish line. I have to tell you that. That was hands down. That was the best part of the ride. The worst road of the ride was the Natchez Trace because there's nothing. There's nothing to look at. The trees became monsters that are going to eat you if you keep going. It was just luckily I did it during the day and in the morning. So I finished the trace. It's 450 miles. And I finished it like 3:00 in the afternoon. I was so glad I hit it at that time frame, the way that I work. And
Right.
but keeping my head together, I tell you, I got really lucky because in the Ozarks, it was like 11:00 at night. I was riding on the left side of the road. I don't know why. I was just on the left side of the road. Okay, get back on the right side of the road. I don't call it sleep. I don't call it going to sleep. I call it sleep riding, kind of like sleepwalking,
Yeah.
where your body is still in control of the motorcycle, but your brain is not anywhere near. It's off on a total different dream world. And one day, my body just decided to turn into a parking lot. So we turned into a parking lot. My brain caught up and said, no, your friends are not at the gas station behind you. We don't have to go get them. There's nobody there. Let's just keep going. So I just kept going.
It's crazy what sleep deprivation will do. You talk about seeing the monsters. There's people who don't understand that. And there's other people that say, oh, why would anybody do that? Why you push so hard that you do that? And I'll tell you why, because you're super competitive. You're super competitive and you push till you can't push anymore. And, I love to hear stories of that because I love it when people give it 100%. So,
but I never knew. I never looked at the tracker. I never knew where I was place-wise.
Well, we were all watching.
Yeah.
So I got a phone call from Nicole Muse, and then the night before the finish, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of weird. I must be doing pretty well."
That's funny.
Yeah, and then I hung up with her, going, "Oh God, please, did I not miss a turn?" Oh, So yeah, and Dan and Yosh, oh my gosh, I mean, fantastic. They rode through the storm and I stopped. Yeah, and I'm really glad I did because the winds that hit me, it would have crashed me. I have no doubt at all. If I had tried to ride through it, it would have crashed. So,
and nothing worse than something happening 300
152 miles from the end. Yeah.
Like I would rather come in 5th place, 3rd, 4th, 5th, than crash and wreck out with 60 miles to go.
Exactly.
And that's the part about this ride that a lot of people don't understand is like a lot goes into it of your choices. Like you had to decide to wait out that storm. You had to decide, I'm going to get sleep. I'm going to cover up. I'm going to hunker in here. I'm going to let this go by. I'm not the physical shape I need to be to do this. And
exactly.
That just all comes down to it. And somebody else, Dan, might have came into that and said, okay, I have another 100 miles to go. It's just a matter of when your body runs out of gas, and it's all timing. It's just the luck of the draw. And I think it's really, I'm glad you did do that because it's just you're in beast mode for so long. I said on the show, I don't know if she can hold that pace. I said she's at such a pace, I don't know if she'll be able to hold it because in the Hoka Heys that I've done in the past, I've seen people make incredible surges. You know what?
Mm.
Where day 5 through 7, they make an incredible surge, but then they just go downhill because they just shot it out, so to speak, and then they couldn't. You can't keep that pace. Had it been a 7 day, you would have been all right, but because it was 12, you just can't do it, and now you got to stop. And so when you were doing your pace, I was like, man, I don't know if she can keep that pace up. And then you were just like, you kept going, and then I started watching when you're gonna sleep, and I'm like, I'd zoom in and see where you were sleeping. I'm like, oh, she picked a good spot there. Like that's a good spot. It won't get traffic at 4 a.m. She'll be able to, she'll sleep. And I said, that's where experience comes in and adds to it, because that wasn't her first rodeo, finding a place to sleep. And so you could make the most of it. So you did a hell of a job, and it was just fun to watch.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It was great. And does it mean a lot, or does it mean anything, or what level do you put being the first lady that come in the top 3? Like, is that like fanfare? Just like,
I mean, it's 2 places higher than the last one. I mean, it's an honor to represent, if you will. I don't know. The whole thing is nothing about. It's willpower. It's how, and luck. Roadrunner said it too. I mean, a lot of it was luck. I didn't hit any animals. I didn't have any maintenance problems. The entire ride was just me and my head and my body. I didn't see anybody after day 4.
That's crazy. And that
it was extremely lonely. And but it allowed me to do my own ride and ride your ride. That's, and that's why I didn't look at the tracker. I purposely did not look at the tracker because I just wanted to ride my ride.
And your experience riding 80,000 miles beforehand really helps with that, because some people get that they haven't seen anybody in days, haven't interacted with human beings. You almost get like a separation anxiety, and then you want to take longer to gas station because you want to go in and talk to that guy working, and you want to have some human interaction where some real serious riders like yourself have an advantage with that. And it was great. But I tell you, I was wondering about the fanfare, like where you put it, because to me, it's a much bigger deal than I think it gets credit for, just because I've done so much riding and I realize how much time it takes to stop and take a leak. And if you have to stop, like for a guy, even to stop, it takes a hot minute to take a leak. And it's like a third of the time what it would take a girl. Even if you're just pulling over on the side of the road, you have climb gear on, whatever, like it's a pain in the ass just to take a leak.
So my jacket is zipped to my pants. So I basically have to strip to take a leak. That's why I smelled so bad when I got to the finish line, because the day before I got stuck in the construction areas where it's one lane and they have the light.
Yep.
Couldn't make the bathroom. So what do you do? And what do you do? You put your boots up as high as you can to keep it out of your boots. So
I tell you, the first time I peed inside my climb pants, I could not wait for it to rain. And of course it doesn't rain, and it just gets hotter and hotter. And I got pissed in pants, and I felt like a 3-year-old. And I'm like, man, I wish I was here to, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm at a gas station hosing out my clothes. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So
Nature's miracle. Nature's miracle, available at Walmart and other fine locations, works fantastically on urine smells.
It works great. And how your tan lines working? Are they
epic?
That is awesome. That is awesome. I love the tan lines. They're not going anywhere. And I did want to say again, I've been sharing this with everybody involved with it. This is, to me, what's so epic is that we are able to raise that amount of money because of riders like you who out there make it a name. And this doesn't even cover the raising awareness like that. That's a whole nother thing that I could spend a whole show on. So that was pretty awesome. And then you got a Kichita as well.
Yes.
So and that was cool.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's a good picture. Yes.
So that
Yeah.
was awesome. The Kichita, for people that are unfamiliar with it, she will take that on her travels, and it can only travel on a motorcycle. So it's given to people, and they had a little foobar in the wording. It was never been awarded to a girl at a ride at the challenge, but other girls
Yeah.
have had it. She's not the first girl to ever have it. She was the first girl who came in the top 10 to have it awarded at an event. So it's been awarded to other riders at a Hoka Hey for different things. And so congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
again, congratulations on not only doing so well, but representing so well, representing monsters, long distance riders, girls in general. You represent the community very well. I don't know how in the hell you keep such a smiley face all the time. That shit blows me away. So it's really cool. So I want to thank you for that.
No, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show. I
You bet.
appreciate it. I'm
We
going to
appreciate
go
you.
have a little libations with my friends from the 10 State Hog Touring Rally that I'm on right now. Yep.
Awesome. You enjoy. Love you, darling.
All right. Mwah.
Let's see it. That's pretty awesome right there. I gotta say, she just always has that same smiley face. No matter how much, she just never loses that. No matter how much shit she goes through, she's always chipper.
I'll say, man, her and Jug. I've never experienced people that have just permanent smiles like that.
Yeah, this smile, and it's like, oh look, everything's shitty. Oh, but guess what? Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're happy to be there. So
Yeah.
that's just super cool. So I want to share some pictures that you took. Let me see if I can
Real
stop.
quick about uh Dan, I'm real quick about Nancy. If you were watching the tracker, man, it was like um to touch on what you said earlier, normally you'll see people like jump way ahead of the competition and then they'll like fall way back because they burn themselves out. And that's always been my concern with my dad, right? 2024, he jumped way ahead with you. And I was like, man, people were texting me like, oh, you must be so happy. I'm like, dude, I don't know. This is his first year. He's way ahead. He's probably gonna get burned out. And then something happened. And then this year he was way ahead. Something happened. Nancy jumped ahead. I think it was like day 4. She said she stopped seeing people. That's because she was in front of the pack. And she stayed
Yep.
there for like until like the very end. So it was really, really cool to watch. And it wasn't by a little bit. It wasn't by like 15 miles.
Yeah, she was the pace she held for a long time, was awesome. And it's like she was competing with some of the best riders in the world, and she was right there. Like
Yeah.
the 1, 2, and 3 of the challenge could have been any of those three.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like it was Dan, and Yost and Nancy. It could have been Nancy, Yost, Dan. It could have been Yost, Dan, Nancy. You could just take those three and shuffle them up, and whatever. Like maybe there was a little advantage going one way over the other. I have no idea, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And here's a couple pictures I wanted to share of that you took. So
Yeah.
Snapshot was on the road, took some pictures while he was rolling down the road. I mean, here I'm sure his kickstand's down because both hands are off the handlebar. So he must have.
Of course.
I don't know how you got the guy in front of you to stop and pose for that picture as well. But this is how we roll. It's all about keeping. Safety is not always at the top of the pack here, but we do some good shit, and that's all good. Too funny.
Somebody on the back taking that picture.
Yeah, exactly. Oops, I got to get that. Somebody's just getting on the show a little late. Let me get back this so I can fast forward this. But he's got some really cool pictures here. This is Iceman right here rolling along, and this is pre motor problems. And
Yeah.
and speaking of your dad, Iceman, he's one of my best friends. I love the guy, both on and off of our motorcycles. We spend a lot of time together, and he had problems with his bike, and I called him, and every time he'd get a little ahead, he'd have a plan. Okay, I can ride through the night. I'll get back up. I'll do like Matt did and start catching people, even though I just got to get back to here and get on it.
Yeah.
And eventually, I called him and I told him, like, I said, look, man, like, you're a grown ass man. You do whatever you want, but God does not want you to keep going. So if you're waiting for lightning bolts to come flying out of the sky and a voice from above saying, "Ice man," I go, that shit doesn't happen. I said, that shit doesn't happen. But when you get those gut feelings and things, that's a sign. And I said, if the good Lord don't want you somewhere, and I said, you can ignore all those signs you want. But my words to him were, if you continue on this ride, I feel like you're going to die in Virginia, and so I said, you take it for what it's worth. I said, you're a grown man. I'm not telling you what to do. Like, you go ride, but I don't want to be right. And I would take that as a sign. And I was super glad he did, man. I've never been so happy to see somebody, pull the plug on that. Don't you think I was right on that?
Dude, I do think you're right, and I actually had a few people tell me they had very similar thoughts watching them, and actually there was another guy I met afterwards who had said that he called him as well. He said, "Hey, look, I think this is a sign from God," because he had his whole crank rebuilt, and then something else happened as soon as they put the motor back together, and that was like alarm bells started going off for everybody. So yeah, I'm super happy you told him that. I think it's really tough for me to kind of give that kind of advice for a lot obvious reasons. So I'm really happy that somebody like you, more of a peer and less of a son, told him
exactly
something like that. So,
but I mean, I was glad he did. And sometimes it's not meant to be. Like, you're not meant to be further down the road for whatever reason. But if you don't go, you'll never know. Like, if you do go and all of a sudden something terrible happens, I'm like, I knew it, and it would be just awful. So I was glad, because now he's at the finish line with the boys, and we had a great time. So, this is the starting line. I love this picture right here that you got. It's right as they're going. They're firing up the bikes. This is it. Like, this is go time. When you see the first headlights come on, it is go time. So that was a great picture you captured. And this is Ridgeway out on the road. We're in some construction, because there's a line of cars that is literally not on the bike.
Yeah, we don't even know what was going on. It was as soon as I caught up with Ridgeway, he was with two other riders, and we had come to a complete stop, and it was everybody put their cars in park. So, like, it wasn't even construction. I don't know. I think we just came up on like heavy rush hour traffic. So, and then of course these three bikes are mile monsters, and this guy behind them. I was catching up. I didn't know that these were mile monsters yet. I was catching up with them, seeing them ride, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Frosty Value and Rob.
Oh, that's awesome. It's fun to see that, and I like all your gear. How you can quickly get it out, and how you're traveling with a lot of money in your pack there. That's where I like to see deer down the ditch. And these are just a few of the pictures you're gonna see. Snapshot is working on a documentary about this ride to promote Mile Monsters and to have a little keepsake for the monsters that rode in this. We want to do something special to give back, for us to have something, them to have something. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. I am looking forward to it. I got a little over like 8.5 hours of accumulative footage that I'm going through, so it's taking a little longer than I was hoping.
Yeah, and how many pictures total?
Pictures total weren't crazy. I think I was around a few hundred, like 200 or 300.
Okay, that's not as bad. Not as bad. Maybe deleted any.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Though that's finished.
Yeah,
I have about 1,500 photos.
Yeah, that's more like 1,500 is the more of the number. When he said 200, I was like, no, I'm thinking he's got those are finished photos.
Yeah.
So, but these are great pictures here. I mean, I don't know how you do it. These are rolling. Like, if you think he's sitting on a tripod here taking pictures, this is rolling through a neighborhood, and you get a really good picture here. I don't know if anybody notices the bike in the background. That kid's rolling along on a pedal bike, but look at how awesome that picture looks. That's just a great job. It's just shit that,
I tell you,
without a photographer out on the road, you're not capturing this stuff. It just doesn't happen. So, I mean, I don't know who some of these people are, but those are great pictures. And this is the finish line, and this is your top, 6, 7, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think 7.
Yeah,
not there. Probably 6.
7. Yeah, this is 6. Well, this is one of them was 8th. I think Ridgeway was 8th. So we're missing Roadrunner.
Yeah.
and I think he went back take a nap, so
Yeah.
wasn't back yet. But that's a cool picture. But this some of them had taken a nap by now. Ridgeway hadn't. You can see the glazed over look in his eyes. But
Yeah.
he's like, I'll have a beer. That's a picture we had of Nancy. It was cool. There's Robert and his wife Tanya at the finish line. Turbo was there, and he gave Roadrunner the trophy. It was just these are great pictures you got.
Thank you. It was really cool to see the boys show up there. I knew that goat was coming. Which I see you're watching. Don't give me secrets. I don't know who told me that secret. People kept asking me if goat was coming, and then they found out. It was supposed to be a secret, and I remember Wrongway was like, "Hey, is goat coming?" And then I was like, and Wrongway was like, "Yes, okay." So don't tell
Exactly.
Chase secrets from now on. But it was nice seeing Josh. It was great seeing Turbo. I haven't seen him in a long time. I didn't know that he was coming, so that was a well kept secret.
Yeah, it was that part was, it was fun. We wanted to bring a couple of the boys up, and these two boys have been in the program for a long time. They're, some of our originals, and they're going to be, they're kind of our ambassadors to show off that it to other kids around the world. If you have DMD, you can still do really cool shit. So, and that's fine. So it was fun. He got to greet them. They got to hang out, got to see some of the monsters that were there. And a lot of these monsters that were there are there because they had bike problems or something else. But, it's still super fun. So it's all good. Yeah. And the goat took a nap at the party. So that was good. But yeah, it was really, really cool. So fun to have it. I really appreciate you taking the pictures. This is the first time. If anybody does not know, we have Snapshot take our pictures and videos for all of our events. We do a lot of Mile Monster stuff year round. We do school events, anti-bullying programs at a school during the winter time. We've done trips to go with the kids to go swim with manatee. So if we can get Snapshot there, we bring him to the event to capture this, so we can have this for the families to keep. Like, there's some really epic things here that these kids that have a disease like Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Other families think these kids, oh, they can't do anything. Oh, my son has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, he's got to stay home. We'd like to showcase what these kids can do and help them live their best life despite having a disease. And Snapshot is incredibly talented at capturing the feeling of the moment, not lining up kids and riders over here to take a picture and smile, but capturing the essence of the moment. And so that I thank you for. I can't wait to see, the finished product of this. And the riders that gave it so much are gonna just love to have this as a souvenir. Our kids are gonna love to have this as a souvenir. Brody's gonna love to have it as a souvenir, knowing that he can look back and say, these 60 riders rode through hell and back to raise money so I could get a van.
Man,
And that's pretty epic. Like, he's pretty young now, but he's gonna come to an age where he's like, holy shit, like, these guys literally risked their life to raise money to get a van. And that's what I wanted to capture by having Snapshot on the road and get those moments with some monsters just out there doing that very thing. And I think that is like it's hard to capture. Man, I've taken a million pictures in my life, and I get 5 out of 500,000 that are badass, and you go out and you take, your shitty pictures are really good. So they might not make the cut. I gotta get them from you. But anyhow, I really appreciate it. This is really going to be super badass to see as a a finished product. And we caught some shit over doing it. People didn't like the idea. We had pushback, and Jason and I have been working together a long time, and we don't give a whole lot of shits what the haters want to hate on. We don't care. We're and we got a lot of plans for the future as well with Chase, and we don't care about what anybody else's opinion are. We know these kids, we know these riders,
Yeah.
and they're risking it. We're recording it, and
That's it.
that's how we're gonna do things. So, if anybody has a problem with that, then don't invite any monsters around, because we do epic shit, and we're gonna have it. We're gonna have it. You know, we're gonna capture those moments and turn them into memories. Like, we passed a thing around called the Memory Maker, and so much of our
Thule has it now, right?
yeah, and so much of our fun stuff has come from the Hoka Hey. That's where Mile Monster started, you know, and it started with a ride in the Hoka Hey in 2018, has evolved into this. Now we're celebrating our 5-year anniversary, and this is part of our 5-year anniversary celebration. This is this Hoka Hey this year. And so every rider involved in it we're just going a little above and beyond because we're celebrating our 5-year anniversary. It's why I did a show every day during the Hoka Hey. Why, Snapshot was out on the road, not just here, hit a checkpoint and hang out there and get pictures. Like that middle checkpoint, you could have literally stayed there the whole time because everybody's coming in, but we didn't want just that. And that's why. So I think it's really, really cool. And everybody has a story. Everybody had some fun. And, every monster I talk to has a story. Some are bad, some are sucky, but all of them end in great happiness, and they all end with staring at that. And that's the bottom line. So I thank you for what you did to capture that. And I really look forward to sharing it with the world. We're also going to have some pictures available. Snapshot has taken some really, really epic photos of this event that we're going to have in a print form and for sale. And it's just to raise some money for charity. It's just another avenue of raising money to do what we do. And it's going to really be cool to see that. So there's going to be pictures that are not available anywhere else. There's no digital format of them. There's no nothing. We're going to print these 5, maybe 10, whatever it ends up. Yeah, whatever it ends up that we decide on.
Limited
look
amount.
For that. Yeah, we're going to have a limited amount. We might only print X amount, and we're not sure how we're going to have it, but they're really cool. And they're really going to be he's really got some epic photos that are great memories for monsters and others as well. So that's pretty cool. So I see in the comments, there's a lot going on. I was trying to keep it going as fast as possible because Jug and George were out there, and I want to do a whole nother show, but I was like, we're at an hour and something already. So I didn't want to get too long, but I'd like to have Jug and George on. So I might do one more show just for them and put a whole bunch of stuff together because they were passing donuts to each other at highway speeds. And George got a lot of crap for stopping at the post office even after Riot said make sure you don't overpack or you're going to be stopping at the post office and mailing shit home. And Jug did a video of George mailing a box home. So and then our Walter Mays, I got a truckload of his shit. He mailed boxes that were the size of the great big boxes you have from Home Depot. He had a box of that mailed to a dealership he never even touched, a bag he left at the checkpoint. I was like, holy shit. So that was all good. But anything else you want to add from this?
Man, no, I had an incredible time out there. Of course, it was more difficult than I thought it was, but it was an incredible experience. And just about every single experience I've had with Mile Monsters is a lifelong one for me, so it's cool to add this one to the list. This was an incredible experience. And I kind of tried to keep it in a little bit earlier whenever you first showed the screen. That was a shocker to me. I had no idea. $113,000 is a bit. It made me tear up a little bit. And that's really incredible, man. I have no words. It's really cool that we're able to be here for these families this way.
I think it's awesome because at the end of the day, when you think about a a van. It's like I've had people say, well, everybody has to have a car, everybody has to have this or that, why are cars so important? Yes, everybody has to have a car, no doubt about it. But not everybody has a kid with a terminal disease. And with that comes a lot of extra shit. There's a lot of extra bills that get piled on. So the last thing somebody with a kid with a disease is going to go buy is $100,000 vehicle.
Yeah.
If they didn't have to have an accessible van, it would be they'd be at the point they have a little compact car,
Yes.
because that's all you can afford when you have all your spare money going to all of the other things that insurance doesn't cover, all the things that you're needed in your house,
Yeah.
all of that. So
I mean, these
to
these
be able
wheelchairs
to,
are
yeah,
even.
the wheelchairs, everything. So for us to be able to take the burden off of a family of a payment that may be $1,200 a month, because you have to have a van. There's no two ways about it. If you have a son in a wheelchair, he has to get to the hospital. He has to get to medical appointments. And unless you live in New York City, where they're going to send out a van to get you, at 10 o'clock or at 2 o'clock, you know, on a time schedule, you can't just do that. So for us to be able to provide a van to a family is just absolutely amazing, and I can't even tell you how much it means to the family. So anybody watching this who's donated to the Mile Monsters at any level, and that's our main goal this year. But that van is like one of a shit ton of things we're doing. We're bringing families in. Believe there's 6 kids, hopefully 7, coming to San Antonio. We fly their whole families into San Antonio for a party. We're putting a big party on, uh, where we're giving away a motorcycle. So we have things that we provide the kids every month. We have things that we do, crazy upgrades to their house, trips, whatever it is. Like, our goal is to help these kids live their best life. And the Hoka Hey is an avenue we use to raise awareness and funds to do just that. And so to have any part of that number, is, 113,000 and change, is just awesome. So, anybody that has to, had anything to do with that, if you donated, if you were one that rode and raised money, if you're somebody that shared this show, whatever, all that shit adds up, and it's really, really awesome. So with that, I thank everybody. I think we can get out of here now. I think that was good. And I'm super happy for you that nothing happened to you on the ride. Everything went good. You got great photos. The bike that broke down was your dad's, not yours. And
Hey, I tell you
you know,
what. Also, real quick before we go, I have it on video too. I'm not gonna put it in the documentary, but I am gonna share it. I think it's really funny. We were me, Teeter, my dad. I pulled in. I caught up with my dad. I happened to catch him right before his bike started making like detrimental noises. It was like I caught him, and then he pulled into a gas station right away, and he's like, "Dude, my bike's making crazy noise." And then Teeter pulls up, and then Teeter's like, "What kind of noise?" And then he hears it, and he's like, "Shit." He's looking at my dad, and looks at me. He's like, I mean, you got another bike. You got another bike right here. It's in your name. So, my dad like looked at me and he kind of looked at all the gear that was on it, and he's like, He's like, no. He's got a job he's doing.
that's pretty funny too. That there was another bike there, and I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't take it. So that worked out good. And if anybody is interested in our party in San Antonio, across the banner, go to our website. Whatever. That's a great celebration of our year and our 5 years. It is October 10th. The kids are going to be there. The 10th is a Saturday. It starts on the 8th and goes until Sunday. And right when that's done, we're taking Turbo to a hunt to go and do a whitetail hunt down in Texas. So it just shows that we're just always doing something there's always something around the corner. There's hardly a break, so that's pretty badass. And out in Sturgis, there's the bike we're giving away. That was our tent in Sturgis, where we just went all in on promoting the ride. That's what it was set up. There's the tracker on the TV. So we had a lot of people coming and hearing what we do. So it was really, really cool. So,
We actually ran in the same group. I ran into these guys from Maine real briefly for like 5 minutes at a gas station. I talked to them for a little while and they donated some money, and then they ran into you at Sturgis.
I'll get that picture on. We're gonna have another show. There's too much to talk about. Maybe on Monday we'll do another one. We'll do another one on Monday. I thought it's gonna wrap up, but it won't. We're gonna have a special monster Monday, I think, and do it then. So we got to get Jug and George on, and I'll get that picture. He ran into people on the road that were on their way to the rally. They donated, took a group photo. They came to Sturgis, found me at the booth, donated again, took a picture. And so we have both pictures, and it was a lot of fun. So that was the kind of stuff that was pretty exciting. So that's that. But with that, I think we can get out of here. I was going to try, what did I tell you when I asked you if we could do a show together? Let's just do a quick, quick show. And I was telling the people I had on today, like, it's going to be like half hour, but I'm sure it'll go an hour. But that's it. And here we are. So that's that. But anyhow, if anybody wants to follow what we do, super simple. Go to milemonstersinc.com and we got you. If you want to ride for us, you want to ride with us, you want to high five any of our kids, you just hit us up what you're capable of. You don't have to do 13,000 miles. 11,000 miles. You can do a 50-mile ride. You can ride a mile every day for a week. We got something for everyone, and it's all for our heroes. So Snapshot, again, I thank you. It's always a pleasure to work with you, and I look forward to so much more cool shit we got going. I want to yell into the what we got coming down the pipeline, but we'll got to save some things for another date. So if anybody's interested, you hit us up. And again, Snapshot, thank you again for just going above and beyond and really, really killing it.
Thank you, man. It's awesome to be a part of this.
For sure, man. And to everybody else, we thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing our story, donating, helping our kids, learning what we do and why we do it. Is really super cool. Every Monday we have a show, 7:00 Central Time, that you can follow, Monster Monday. The epic time is going to come to an end. I don't know. I had a bunch of people asking me about if it's going to end. So maybe I'll do a half hour all week just so I can cover some of the cool people and their cool stories. So I have a feeling it's not going to be done as much as I want it to be done. But I love sharing stories. And so stay tuned. If you see something pop up about epic time, it's because we're going to share some more stories. So that I'm out of here. Peace.